I'm Joseph Mintzledge, Katy Christian Magazine. We just want to invite you to our next Chamber Breakfast meeting. Special speaker to be announced. So you're going to have to go to katychristianchamber.com. Go to upcoming breakfast and register. We're the only Christian chamber of its kind in the greater Houston area. Our mission is to connect Christ and businesses, okay? And we need you there to accomplish that. So go to katychristianchamber.com or always put it on your recurring schedule the third Friday of each month. God bless. Hope to see you next month.
Thanks for coming. Thank you. All right, have fun. I see Joe.
When I started my Houston Christian Chamber of Commerce probably about 16 years ago, he was one of our first speakers. And he doesn't look like he's aged a day since, so, you know. But Gail's known as the connector. If you really need help with networking, with your presentation, this is the man to see, okay? The advice he gives you today is going to be invaluable, so we just want to introduce Gail Stolzenburg, and we thank him for being our speaker today.
Sorry, just a moment. I'm pulling yours up right now. You look pretty, Gail.
That's not counting against my time, is it?
Okay, you're good to go.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Got two mics going here. Just a little bit about my background. Most of my time is spent connecting or networking or writing books or doing articles, doing a little bit of coaching. And today, more than ever, people are more connected digitally than ever before. And they're more disconnected personally. We have a longing for a belonging. And that means we need to put together communities like we have here today. There's a good book written by Howard Partridge. He's the vice president of the Ziglar Corporation, heads up sales there, and that book, The Power of Community, is something that I think everybody should read because it'll be very beneficial to you. Here's 5 steps for building that community. First of all, you need to place the value on it. Then develop your connections, and we're talking about real type of relationships. Inspire trust. Gives gifts. You always want to give somebody a gift. It may just be a link to an article, but information. Today I'm going to be giving away the best-selling book called Networking Like a Pro, and hopefully you'll win it, and promote growth. So let me ask you, what influences you? We found that that screen that you're watching every day influences you more than anything. And most of it is negative influence and a loss of hope. So instant messages and tweaks and sound bites and so forth. How much can you remember? There we go. Your brain can remember almost everything. However, your short-term memory can only retain about 7 items for 20 seconds. So if you listen, you'll retain about 15, maybe 20%. If you take notes, it'll go up to about 30 or 40%. But if you participate, then it goes as high as 80% retention. So let me ask you, when does connection occur? It occurs when they come through the door, when you first see them, or when they make eye contact, or when you end up shaking hands, or when you begin talking. What do you think? All of them? Actually, it takes place when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you put on your connections face. Tony Robbins calls it peak state. Jonathan Sprinkles calls it position. We're really talking about mindset. So let me ask you, what's the first thing that someone says when you shake hands? They say, Dr. Melinda, and then what are the next words?
How are you? Good morning. How are you doing?
And what do you do? Right?
What do you do?
That's the first thing we ask somebody, particularly in a business type arrangement. So, turn to your neighbor. This is the participation part here. And introduce yourself. Give him about 30 seconds of name, company, occupation.
Very nice to meet you. I'm Amy Holmes. Nice to meet you.
Marketing guy, how are you doing? Social media, Alicia Springer.
You can't put her out.
That's okay.
Okay, that's enough.
They were enjoying that too much.
So, let me ask you another question. How does your dog know when you're going to give him a bath?
He's speaking to everybody.
How does your dog know when you give him a bath? Well, dogs spend their entire lifetime eating, sleeping, playing, and watching you. They memorize your body language, your tonality, and your words. And when they hear the word bath, they dive underneath that couch, right? Well, it turns out that kids are the same way. They memorize their mother, all of her moods and so forth, and they know when she's in the best mood to ask for that cookie. Now, you and I are the same way as people. There are certain words that raise a red flag. Would you like to know what those words are? Sure. They are I, me, mine, we, us, ours. When you talk about yourself, that red flag comes up and the people say, you're trying to sell me something. People care about two things. One is whether or not you can help them solve a problem, or number two, if you can help them increase their income. So let me give you an example of how to introduce yourself. Do you know how? When you say, do you know how, it's like, I just found out, and their ears perk up. Do you know how most people, now Dr. Melinda, are you part of most people? Mm-hmm. Yes, so I must be talking to you. So we've got curiosity, and now we've got inclusion, and all we have to do is add the problem. Do you know how most people have a difficulty introducing themselves? And we have to introduce the solution. some people know the magic words to keep that conversation going. Now, I know that you'd like to learn those magic words, but we're here with all of these other people networking, and it takes me a few minutes to explain that to you, so it would be okay if we just got together for coffee tomorrow and see how we could help each other build our business.
Okay.
We never, ever want to try to sell something. All we want to do is help people. Okay, this is 30 seconds. Just introduce yourself again. Not moving. Erica, I'm sorry, it's not moving. Famous clicker here. The red light's working, but
Is that your laser working?
not moving forward. Just tap it one time there.
Try it now. Is that working now? Click.
That moved forward.
It did.
It needs to go to the next slide.
All right. Which one were you on? This one? Just a second, Gail. I'm gonna restart you, and then we'll catch up to that.
We're getting to see that lady a lot, aren't we?
Do the
Cassidy
intro
Bell.
part. Can you just do the intro part? Just tell them about it being on the screen. Introduce themselves, 30 seconds. Or do you need that on the
Yeah.
screen?
So let's try it again. I just gave you the way to do that without saying I, me, mine, we, us, or ours. So turn to your neighbor again and see if you can introduce yourself without saying those words. Okay, you got 30 seconds here while we're working on the problem.
Very happy to meet you. You are a really interesting person. Tell me about yourself. What do you think?
It works. Conversation. What's your passion?
There's a textbook answer and a real life answer. The textbook answer is Matthew 28, 19, and 20.
Okay, so we'll make disciples.
Who are you? What do you do?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, here you're Jimmy Solar Burners, and you got it all figured out. Your future's so bright, you're gonna need shades.
It is bright. It is bright.
Okay, guys, we're back. Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the party meeting.
They enjoyed that too much.
The trainer and development chairman, Bill Eli, said, relationships, relationships, relationships. So there's all kinds of relationships that you have with your current members here and voters and your team and team leaders and your customers and even yourself. So all business, politics, life is about relationships. So how are relationships formed? Well, it all begins with a mindset. And the mindset is just a combination of all of our personal attitudes. We got attitudes about all kinds of things. What is an attitude? Well, an attitude is a feeling or an emotion or a viewpoint, and we can change our attitude anytime we want to, even though all of the things around us are not changing. So how do we check for an attitude? Well, we had all these different things that we were looking at. Let's just take one and try to use leadership as an example. Everybody says I want to be a leader. Doesn't cost anything, it's easy to do. But what'd your mother tell you? She said, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. So if we wanted to check out this potential individual for a leader in our group, what we do is give them a book or give them some action to take. I like using books. And let's get back together in about 3 days. So there's two types of mindset. One is a fixed mindset. That's like a teenager that knows it all and is unwilling to change. The second mindset is a growth mindset. That's like a baby that fails and fails again and finally succeeds. Continuous learning. So the fixed mindset for the prospective leader, they're going to read that book, say they're going to read that book, but they never do. They got all kinds of excuses. The growth mindset, they'll read that book and then they'll come back and they want to discuss it in that 3 days and continue learning. You want to take baby steps. And those baby steps will be able to help us eliminate that discouragement. So think about the goals you're setting for yourself, and are you thinking about yourself rather than the other ones? My goal is to recruit 10 people. Well, that's all about yourself. So we're unable to find prospects. Why? Because we look at how they're thinking. They're not motivated. Too much money. Unsure on how to approach them. They look like they'd reject me. What can I possibly say to that person? Well, our mindset is, I want to find somebody that's easy to talk to. But how do people think? Well, they think they want to deal with people they know, like, and trust. Have you heard that before? Do you agree with it fully? We want to deal with people we know, like, and trust. Well, I'm here to tell you that you really want to deal with people that you think can solve your problem, whether or not you know them. How many times have you bought something off of the internet? You never saw that person, but you trusted that they could solve your problem. So that's really what activates people. And rather than what you say, people care about how you make them feel. They buy into you and then they buy into your product. So let's talk about decision making. Most people make a decision within the first few seconds. Sometimes it's a lot quicker than that, whether or not they want to continue the conversation with you. So what do you say? I recommend you use 2 undisputed facts followed by a question. Here's a good example. When I'm out block walking and trying to convert some folks to the conservative way of thinking, I tell them, liberals are defunding our police. You know what they just did to Austin? Reduced the dollars for those guys. And not only does it affect the police, but it affects us too. So, I was in a session last night with Commissioner Tom Ramsey, our county commissioner, and he was telling us that the crime rate has increased 41%. So, then I followed up with that question, would you be willing to contact a couple of neighbors and see if they can help solve that problem? Options is a great word. People are relieved when they hear they have an option. Presentation is a different kind of word. It's another one of these red flags when you say you're going to give someone a presentation. People start looking for the reasons why not to protect themselves. What does the word option mean to prospects? Well, it means that it's going to be okay whether we do it or whether we don't. We've got the option. There's no pressure on us here. And so we'll look for reasons to continue doing something. Why are options so important? Because we choose to give prospects the option of something that might change their life. They react to us. They see our intention to help them. And now we can talk to more people, and we have prospects everywhere. Here's an example, a presentation. I want to give you a presentation. Uh-oh, I don't have time. That's not for me. I'm not interested. I hate salespeople. Now, let's try it with an option approach. Let me pass on one more option that you could take advantage of. Oh, great. So, it's simple. We removed all of the personal agenda. We've got to get rid of the commission breath, and now we can go forward. You want to listen to what people are saying with a fixed mindset. Why is this always happening to me? How come other people never see this problem? Why do I always fail? Why do people always disappoint me? Nothing works for me. I have big bones. I've always been fat. It was predestined. People give me bad advice. I always get rejected. Okay. And my favorite is I'm waiting for that law of attraction to work for me. Okay. What can we do to overcome a fixed mindset? The most successful people in the world read, you're right, Erica, one book every week. I read one book every week. Actually, I put out a newsletter every week, and in it I've got a book review. And so I have to read one book every week in order to stay up with it. But take action instead of moping. Approach each new meeting positively. Never give yourself reason to be a victim. Don't blame others. See failure as a lesson. You know about the guy that was working on that light bulb, and he did it 10,000 times before he was successful, right? And he just looked at that was 10,000 ways not to do it. Realize our brain is doing negative feedback. Train your brain to be for growth feedback. Have a mantra like, I'm unable to control how I feel, but I have the ability to control how I think and how I act. So changing one word can reverse a fixed mindset. Do you know what that word is?
Yes.
That word is, instead of why, asking why am I unable to find prospects, we ask how. How can I find more prospects? How can I make it easier? How can I get more things done? This is the DISC system. DISC system. Who knows about the DISC system? Got some hands out here. Some of you use the DISC system. So when you're talking with people, you always want to determine, now understand there's about 34 different versions of the personality profile, but these are the 4 major ones, and we find people in those categories. And if we are a director type individual, then that means that we're just thinking bottom line, and we're talking to someone that is in the caretaker type position that has a totally different approach. We need to approach from that standpoint. Here's some helpful hints. Never try to sell something. Always give them a gift. Be sure you get their phone or email. Make the appointment now. People say, thank you, Dr. Melinda, for your card. I'll give you a call in the next day or two, or I'll send you an email, or maybe I'll send you a text. Forget about all that. Make the appointment right now for today. great book for you to read. It's called Secrets to Mastering Our Mindset by Tom Big Al Schreider. He's very big in direct selling, but he's one of the best networkers that I know. Every week we have a weekly storm that Bill Eli puts on, and here's the next couple of events that are coming up. One last hint for you. Find a mentor. Find someone that has done what you want to do, that started off below where you are today. And these are some of my mentors, and a couple of them have passed away, Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar. But the rest of these guys I stay in pretty close contact with. It's amazing how much you can learn from that mentor. So thank you for having me here, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Does anybody want to ask Gail a question? Anything in particular?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Big Al Schreider, where is he? Is he in Houston still?
He's actually down in Lake City, south of Houston, but he's here except for the 300 days out of the year that he travels, giving talks all over the world. Amazing gentleman. I've known him for many years. Yes, sir.
What do you say to people when you're just trying to get a little bit deeper connection and they say, I'm so busy, I just don't have time?
Focus on questions, okay? For instance, the guy says, I'm busy, I don't have time. Well, what are you busy doing?
Yeah, that's
And now you've continued the conversation. Okay?
Okay.
So, you need to spend 70% of the time listening to people, 30% of the time talking, but when you're talking, you need to be asking questions.
Great.
He who asks the questions controls the conversation. So, yes. Any other?
We have time for one more question, anybody? Right over there.
I was wondering if you might be willing to give us a special gift, a copy of those fabulous slides emailed to the group. I was trying to take notes and take pictures, but they went quickly, and those questions were amazing, and I'd love to see them again.
Unfortunately, you're on Facebook Live, and you can get to see the replay courtesy of Alicia Stringer.
Wow, great.
You get to watch this time and time again, if you like.
And we also put this on YouTube. Andy he'll upload this to YouTube like within a week or so, typically. So just go to Katy Christian Chamber on YouTube, and you'll be able to find all the things that we've done here. Okay, we're going to move on. Thank you, Gail.